This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, December the 9th, was a Chicago Bears icon, known for being a linebacker, sports commentator, and actor. He played football for the Bears from 1965 to 1973, 8 Pro Bowls in his 9 seasons. Shockingly, only 9 seasons, because of the relentlessness of the defense and how injuries kind of wrecked his career in a sense. He's very regarded as one of the most intimidating linebackers in football history. He was a legend in college, and then he played with the Bears and all that. He was named the most feared tackler of all time, and it has an NCAA award named after him. So yeah, he's been in the Hall of Fame since 1979. His number 51 has been retired by the Bears. He was known for his philanthropy and all that. His name is Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus was born December 9, 1942 in Chicago. The youngest of 8 children. He was actually the first to be born in a hospital, and he was 13 pounds at birth. His father, John, was a Lithuanian immigrant who spoke broken English, was an electrician, and worked for the railroad car manufacturing company. And his mother worked at a laundry 50 hours a week. He was a fan of the Chicago Cardinals when the Cardinals franchise was in Chicago. Of course, we all know it's in Arizona now, and attended the games at Comiskey Park. His older brother Ron Butkus played football for 3 colleges, tried out for the Cardinals, but he had a bad knee. He would work with his 4 brothers to be a mover of furniture and all that. Anyway, he would play high school football as well at Chicago Vocational High School. And in his first year on the varsity team, they only gave up 55 points in 8 games, so that was just under a touchdown a game. He was named Chicago's High School Player of the Year, even though he was a junior. He was still heavily recruited by colleges to play football and all that. So he decided to stay close to home and attend the University of Illinois. He would be center / linebacker for the Illinois squads. He actually wanted to play for Notre Dame, but the team frowned upon married players at the time. So Butkus was married. So no can do for Notre Dame. Then he decided to go to Illinois. He was in his first year as varsity. Well, in 1961, he couldn't play as varsity because the NCAA had a rule that freshmen could not play varsity. Regardless of that, he made the 1962 Big Ten Conference football team as third-team center. In 1963, Illinois put up an 8-1-1 mark, won the Big Ten, which was at the time a guaranteed spot against the Pac-10, well, the Pac-8 champion at the time, now Pac-12 in a sense, Washington, and beat them in the 1964 Rose Bowl. He was named the team's MVP for the season and was the Big Ten's most valuable player. He was unanimous choice as center for the team. He was named co-captain of the Illinois squad as a senior in 1964 and did quite well. In a cover story for Sports Illustrated, a sports writer by the name of Dan Jenkins remarked, if every college football team had a linebacker like Dick Butkus, all fullbacks would be 3 feet tall and sing soprano. Butkus would take third in the Heisman Trophy balloting in 1964, which was pretty good. So it's the 1965 NFL Draft. The Broncos selected him in the second round of the 65 AFL Draft, but the Bears selected him 3rd overall, which was kind of a shocking move and all of that. That was a gigantic move and all that. The Giants would go first and would pick from Auburn back Tucker Frederickson, who was the Heisman Trophy runner-up. It was weird how he became the first overall pick and all that. And he was there for Auburn and all that. I swear Tucker Frederickson was a CFL player, but he was not. The Niners picked Ken Willard, a fullback from North Carolina, 2nd overall. Didn't work out that well. And the Bears, in the pick they picked up from Pittsburgh, took Butkus 3rd overall. So Butkus would go to his hometown team, Chicago. The Bears also had the 4th pick, and they took Gale Sayers, a halfback from Kansas. The Kansas Comet, give me 12 inches of daylight, he would say. That was a nice move. The Bears also picked up a pick from Washington, going 6th overall, and picked Steve DeLong, a tackle from Tennessee, but he went to the AFL. The Bears did well to get him, and it was weird how the Giants didn't want him. I guess because they had a good linebacker core at the time, and the Niners didn't want him. Nevertheless, he decided to sign with the Bears. The Bears, after gave him less money than the Broncos, but he played for his hometown team. It was enticing. So anyway, Butkus would actually succeed Hall of Famer Bill George at middle linebacker, who made an impact as a rookie. He was a ball hawk. He would pick off 5 passes and recovered 6 fumbles. And unofficially was given the stat of forcing 6 fumbles. He was 3rd in AP Rookie of the Year behind his teammate Gale Sayers and then Ken Willard. If there was a separate award for defenders, he probably would have won. And I think the NFL took that to heart years later and made it an offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year award. So he did quite well. In 1966, he was named the 2nd team middle linebacker by the AP and UPI, putting him behind Ray Nitschke at the Packers, which is hard to do. I mean, Nitschke was a good player. He would be backed by the 1st team linebacker. In 1969, he tackled Dick Shiner in the end zone for his first points. He would put up 25 tackles in that game, allegedly. That win over the Steelers was the only win for the Bears in 1969, which was shocking. They were 1-13. Butkus' 5-year contract had reached its end, and a lot of people thought that the Bears were going to end up losing a lot of players. They expressed interest in being traded or cut by the team. Nevertheless, Butkus did sign a multi-year contract extension prior to the 1970 season. The Bears needed it. Butkus had a great defensive mind and all that. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in 1970 with the caption, "The Most Feared Man in the Game." But, of course, the Bears were not that great. Butkus would go through preventive surgery on his right knee. But he continued because he had strong muscles compensating for the injury. Butkus would turn in a great performance as the Bears finally moved from Wrigley Field to Soldier Field. And Butkus picked off Terry Bradshaw of the Steelers twice. Now, when the Bears were down 15-10 in the final few minutes, Butkus forced a fumble on Pittsburgh's Warren Bankston that forced the Bears to carry the ball to 12 and helped the Bears score a touchdown. Anyway, he did quite well. Unfortunately, though, Butkus sparked controversy in 1972 with his book Stop Action, a memoir describing the final week of the 1971 season. The Bears had lost their 5 years in 1971, and Butkus used the memoir as an outlet for his frustrations and grievances and hated the Detroit Lions organization. The Lions responded by beating the Bears in Week 3 of the 1972 thing. And basically, the book helped Butkus become a terrible one and all that. Nevertheless, he was a productive guy. Early in the first quarter of 1973, he got a touchdown. Houston accused Butkus of intimidating officials, saying he grabbed the ball and started yelling, "Touchdown, touchdown." The officials looked at each other, shrugged their shoulders, and called it a touchdown. Unfortunately, a lingering right knee injury would plague him, and he only played 9 games in 1973. Unfortunately, an orthopedic surgeon prior to the 74 season says, "I don't know how a man in your shape can play football or why you even want to." Basically, the injury forced him to retire at age 31 in May 1974. If medical procedures were actually as clean cut nowadays as they were in 1974, he would have played for more years. Anyway, his retirement came with 4 years remaining on a contract for the Bears, which was to pay him $150,000 through 1977. And it came with a no-cut, no-trade clause. And the contract promised necessary medical and hospital care for Butkus. The Bears then told him he would not be paid if he did not play. Butkus would file suit against the Bears team doctor asking for compensatory damages. But out of court, it was settled. The Bears agreed to pay Butkus the full value of his contract. Although it was a rift between Butkus and George Halas, and they didn't speak for 5 years. But he had a reputation being one of the most feared people around. The linebackers were scared of him. Really scared. So anyway, NFL Network made him the most feared tackle of all time in a thing in 2009. Unfortunately, the Bears were terrible. They were 48, 74, and 4 with Butkus there. Basically, if it wasn't for Butkus, the Bears would be really terrible. And, he was good with the middle linebacker, and he had to succeed a Bears legend in Bill George at that position. But the Bears would have better middle linebackers in a sense. After Butkus, it took a while until Mike Singletary came into the fray, and then Brian Urlacher. So anyway, he was inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame in 1983, and his number 50 was retired by the Illinois football program. It's actually only one of 2 to be retired by that school. Red Grange's 77 is the other one. So anyway, he was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1979, his first year of eligibility. And the Bears in 1994 on Monday Night Football retired his number 51 alongside Gale Sayers' number 40. Long time coming. I think it was due to the 75th anniversary thing. Helped that. So anyway, he was named to the 100th anniversary team. He had a lot of things going for him. He was actually awarded the Order of Lincoln, the state's highest government, by the governor of Illinois. But I don't think it was Obama. No, it wasn't Obama. Anyway, he had a film and TV career. He was in The Longest Yard 1974 version. He was in Gremlins 2, The New Batch, Necessary Roughness, and Any Given Sunday. And was a regular character on Blue Thunder, My Two Dads, MacGyver, and Hang Time. He did a lot of things. Yeah, he was in Hang Time. I remember him from Hang Time. The first few seasons of Hang Time, which was a teen dramedy based off of basketball, like that NBC would do for the Saturday morning programs, which Global would put to Canadians. Yeah, the first few seasons it was former basketball player Reggie Fies. And then when he left, it was Dick Butkus who came in to be the head coach and all that, and he played some stuff. Anyway, Butkus would always endorse Prestone, the brand of antifreeze. He actually endorsed it in a commercial during Super Bowl IV in 1970. He would be in a lot of Miller Lite commercials and all that. He returned to the Bears as a color analyst on radio broadcast in 1985. And he was part of the NFL Today in 1988, replacing Jimmy the Greek Snyder. He would be only there for a few years. So anyway, he was a color commentator for the second half of the season for XFL. So anyway, he actually married his high school sweetheart, Helen Essenberg, in 1963. And then they would move to Florida and then Malibu. He had 3 children, Ricky, Matt, and Nikki. Matt Butkus would play college football for USC as a defensive lineman and joined his father in philanthropy. Butkus' nephew, Luke, has been an assistant captain of the NFL and is the offensive line coach for the Packers. Injuries sustained during Butkus' career compounded with time. He had to have his knee replaced with a metal unit. And he had to have one leg 1.5 inches shorter than the other, which affected his hips, back, and neck. Around 2002, he lost strength in his hand and needed both hands to lift a coffee cup. He went through quintuple bypass surgery, which was a success. But he would die of a stroke at his home in Malibu, October 5th, 2023, at 80 years old. The Bears were scheduled to play Washington later in the day for a Thursday night football game. I can't remember if the Bears won that game. But regardless of that, Dick Butkus is still an icon with the Bears. Sure, he was lovable as the coach in Hang Time, but hey, he's a Bear legend, and when the Bears really sucked, he was there for the team. So why not pick him? Why not? Anyhow, I'm Jeff Down in a do.